Hi folks, this is Garlic with the livingmedicineproject.com, and I wanted to make this little video today specifically for the gardeners and the permaculturists and the composters out there. And for anybody who digests food. Or if you don't digest food, well, this might help you as well. So before we talk about digestion, let's just talk about the forest and the garden, because to me they're the same thing. One obviously has a few more trees, but in the context of soil, that's the frame that we're looking at this in. That a healthy soil in the forest leads to a healthy forest. Healthy soil in your garden leads to a healthy garden. I'm not a great gardener, but I'm learning and I'm getting there. I am a really good composter. And the reason that I have focused on that is because of some advice I got years ago from a gardener that said, if you feed the garden good soil, then the garden will feed you good plants and good foods. And so my focus has been on creating the conditions for the plants to thrive, creating that good soil, so I'm putting good stuff in there. Now, this isn't to say that this isn't a Puritan perspective on we all need to be eating organic food and things like that. Obviously, that's better when we can do it. And it's a bit ridiculous that we don't have access to affordable organic food, that this stuff is that there is even a category of non-organic is a bit ridiculous by itself. But that's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about is starting with this assumption that when we feed the soil, it feeds the garden, it feeds the plants. Because last week I had a friend reintroduce me to an idea from a book that he's reading. I end up digesting a lot of books by talking to people about the books they're reading. And I don't actually always get to the book or always finish the book, but it still really nourishes me. And in this case, he reintroduced this idea to me of basically thinking of our digestive tract as creating soil, right? And so, which does a couple of things. First of all, right away, it changes the things that I want to put in my mouth. And I noticed specifically, it changes how much I want to chew. Because I have done fermentation stuff, exercises and experiments, and some have gone well and some haven't. And I have been composting for a long time, and I've learned that the decomposition process is aided when things are smaller. And so all of a sudden, thinking about creating soil in my gut has me chewing my food more. Maybe it'll have the same effect for you. I don't know. But it certainly didn't help when I heard I should do it. Because shoulds are pretty much impossible to do. And I'm a bit too, I don't know, I value autonomy. And so when I hear a should, even when it's from me, I tend to push back a little bit on it. So that frame wasn't helpful. You should chew 60 times. Not helpful. But thinking about caring for the soil in my gut, and it's really easy to shift towards what I know to be healthier habits. More on that in another video. I'm sure lots of other videos around shoulds and shifting our relationship with them. But let's stay focused here on the creation of soil. So our guts, this is part of the reason that people talk about the need for probiotics, positive bacteria in our gut. It's the same as we need positive bacteria in our compost. Why there's positive bacteria in the soil in the forest to break down the plant material, to break down those things, that process of decomposition. We need mushrooms in the soil. We need worms in the soil to produce aeration. So we need air, we need wood, which is the bacteria, we need fire, so it needs to be certain conditions, certain warmth to get it going, and then it starts to create its own warmth. And then metal or air, some people would call it, is the other component that all leads into creating earth, which the same as soil, right? So metal is the mushrooms. It's that process of decomposition and breaking things down. And so we need all four of those elements to make the fifth element. And isn't it incredible how it changes to think of treating ourselves? See, here's the fundamental piece, right? Is if we just are focused on creating good soil in our guts, then we become the garden, right? You are the forest that's fed. You are the garden that's fed by the positive bacteria, by the healthy, rich soil, well aerated as it's passing through your digestive tract. Because remember, we're built like donuts. We have a hole that starts here and it ends on the backside. And in order for that food, any of that, the benefit of that food that we've eaten to get to our body, it has to be absorbed into our body. And that happens when there's healthy soil doing what soil does. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear your reflections. How does it change your relationship with food and your relationship with digestion to think about you as the garden and putting positive, like making good soil? That's the whole idea now. When you eat, you're just making good soil. And how does that change your food decisions? How does that change the things that you put in your mouth? Aside, I'm sure somebody will comment on the need to be saving our manure, the human manure process. Again, that'll be a separate video. It seems ridiculous that we're putting it into drinkable water and flushing it away when we need topsoil and we need nutrition in the soil drastically. The loss of topsoil in North America due to industrial agriculture is actually epidemic proportions. But for now, I'd love to hear, how does it change your frame? How does it change how you think and how you feel and how you eat? Your relationship with food. What happens when you think about simply making good soil and you as the garden, your body, your spirit as the result of that healthy soil? That's where you tap into. That's the soil. That's the richness. And what does that mean for you? All right. I'm Garlic with the Living Medicine Project. Please feel free to share these videos. Thank you to those who have already. Please like and subscribe because it actually does make a difference. I haven't mentioned it in all my videos because it seems a bit cheesy, but I'm trying to get there because it really helps. So thank you very much, and I will talk to you next time.